What's going on? Jason McDaniel with Stoneman Construction here. Today we are going to talk about silicone. Caulking on your project is a crucial part of making your finished install look clean and precise. So you can do up to a 1/4 inch caulk joint per TCA handbook. Obviously that's a big caulk joint. I try to keep mine between an 1/8 and a 1/4, depending on what you're working on. Obviously, we have a beveled tile backsplash here, and in the corner, the caulk joint's probably gonna be a little bit bigger just because of how the bevel comes together. The best change that I made for our company a couple years ago was going to 100% color matched silicone. Every manufacturer out there they have acrylic latex caulk and they have 100% silicone. Right now today we are using Ardex's SX Fresh Lily. I really like Ardex silicone. It's nice, easy to work with. Tools, very, very nice. All of the major manufacturers have 100% color matched silicone. And I can tell you that when you make this change, it will cut your callbacks down to 0 for caulking. Since I've made this switch, we have had no callbacks for caulking. It's an incredibly important part of the project. The thing about silicone that scares people is that they say that it's more difficult to do. I can tell you that when I first started doing it, it was more difficult to do. Now, I actually enjoy it. Once you get used to it and you learn some of the tricks that I'm gonna teach you with this YouTube video here, you'll see that it actually becomes fun. Like anything with tile, if you can kind of embrace whatever you're doing and start to enjoy it, start to kind of play a game. I mean, how nice can I make this, you know? Today, we got a backsplash here that we just did. A couple little things about silicone here. One of the more important things about silicone is making sure that your grout is dry. We use a spray away cleaner, which I'll show you. It's a liquid, so if your grout isn't dry, it will actually reactivate the grout and it'll start dripping down into your silicone line, which becomes problematic. Sometimes you can't do it the same day. We did Ardex FL, which is a rapid. This stuff fires immediately. If you were to do a non-sanded grout or something like that, it probably wouldn't be set up at this point, and I would say don't do your silicone. The thing about silicone, for the most part, is it's a one-shot deal. You really have one chance to make it look perfect. I know it's a little scary for people, but I want to tell you, after watching this video, you will be a pro. It becomes fun and easy to do. So check this out. Let's talk a little bit about the tools needed to do silicone. The hide caulking tool, when I found this, I used my finger for everything. Now I actually use this. Sometimes, depending on what tile you have and the application, you have to use your finger, but for this tool right here makes my life so much easier. The other thing that is crucial is you want some paper towels around. The rags are great, but you go through them really quick and they're more expensive. So have some paper towels around. Microfiber rags obviously have become really important to our trade, so always have microfiber rags around. And a nice caulking gun. There's gonna be an argument here. Inevitably somebody's gonna say, that's not a very good caulking gun. I like this caulking gun and I don't give a crap what you like. So I am gonna use this one. You use whatever you want. Opinions, we all have them. And the most important thing to doing silicone is the glass cleaner. I've heard people say denatured alcohol. I've heard people say soap and water. If denatured alcohol and soap and water work for you, awesome. Spray away glass cleaner. In my opinion, it is the best. So one thing you want to do is make sure that the area that you're working in is clean. Go in through here and clean this off. Make sure that you don't have any little grout, sand particulates. You can see I just did that. There's a little bit in there. It's really important to go in here and clean the area that you're doing. So I will start with this small area. We have a corner over here. That's gonna be a difficult corner because it's beveled tile. The first silicone job I did, I remember the corner made me nuts. I didn't figure out the trick until a couple jobs later. I'm gonna teach you something about silicone in corners that's gonna change your life when it comes to using silicone. Silicone, load her up, take off the little cap. These caps are really important because it keeps the silicone fresh. You can use this again, and it's an expensive product, so always keep the cap. right? And then what you'll want to do is make sure that you get a little bit out. There's a little bit of a chunk in the front of that. You want this to be fresh lele. So here we go. Don't worry about making a little bit of a mess here. If you do a little, I'll make a little blob on there, and I'll show you that it's easy to clean up, right? So all you do is take this and watch. I'll do this, put a big blob on that purposely, do a nice even bead there. I'll show you how to clean up these ends. So Adam's gonna jump in here and show you the size of that right there, right? So at this point, you're probably going, holy crap, that's just gonna turn into a mess. It's not gonna turn into a mess, I promise. All you do at this point is take the spray away, spray it real good. Don't hose her down. Like that, make sure it's nice and wet in there, and then take the hide tool. And what's cool about this, as you learn how to use these tools, you can actually decide on how big you want that bead to be. More pressure takes out more material, makes the joint a little smaller. Less pressure, ease up on it a little bit, actually makes the joint a little bigger. With these bevel tiles, it's actually kind of difficult because you have a little bit of an indent there. So it usually ends up what it ends up, and I just try to match it everywhere else. So whatever you do, try to make it uniform throughout. You don't want a 1/4 inch bead over here and a 1/16 inch bead over here, right? Try to make it uniform. So I am going to take the hide tool and cross my fingers that it ends up nice. I made a little bit of a boo-boo there with the, part of this video is gonna be showing you how you can adjust to little mistakes if you make them. You can see that the wall plates, they catch me up a little bit there. So check this. On corners like this and little areas like this, you can just spray your finger and go back over it like that. This is the trick to silicone right here. You want to do that right there. All you have to do, spray your finger, spray the area, go over it one time. It makes a nice uniform silicone joint right there. As you can see, I did that in 30 seconds. Really easy to do. The wall plates being a little lower, they catch the hide tool, which can become a problem. So I'm gonna adjust to that when I go over here. We get one shot at this for this video. So what I wanna do is I wanna make a couple mistakes here so that I can show you how you can adjust to them when you're doing it. Get a nice even line in there, like that. Always clean off the end of the caulking gun. And then do another even line here. I might not be able to get the tool in there, so we'll see. Now in the corner, again, you want to get that a lot in there because that's a big joint there with the beveled. We could have mitered that, but we decided that it'd look the same with silicone in it, so we left it. Well, Lee, can you hand me some more paper towels, bud? And then we got, thanks, boss. So now we've got the tool. In my opinion, it's easier to pull this direction. So I'm gonna take the hide tool, nice and soft in there. Make sure it doesn't catch on that wall plate there. I think everything's looking pretty good so far. There's a little bit of a dot there, so I can pull this direction now. Nice and easy. Watch the wall plate. You can kind of curve it just a little bit so that you don't catch up on it. Again, you'll want to use your finger at the end to tune anything up. So we're going to go in here again. When I get to the wall plate, I'm going to drop it down a little bit. It took a lot more of that silicone out of there when I changed that angle. And that's what's great about this video, right? Is that when you make mistakes like that, you're going to have to adjust to it. So what I want to do is add a little bit more silicone to that. The wall plates, we probably could have left them off, but when you go to put the wall plate back on, it drops little dust and stuff into your silicone. It's better to put the wall plates on first. So we can spray that this time, see if I can make a little adjustment on this to see if I can get the silicone to stay with the wall plate. Sometimes it gets tricky. There we go, we got it. Now, get in there like this. Use that trick there with the finger. Go back over it. Now I'm gonna do this whole edge to make sure it's nice and uniform. Get the end. You can see that I am not being shy with this at all. And then spray that corner again. That corner joint's gonna be a little bit bigger because of the beveled tile. So I'm gonna ease up on it just a touch. This could be interesting. Some of the grout is still a little bit wet, so it's pulling off just a touch. But this is great because it shows you that you can make mistakes with silicone and still recover from them. And then what we're gonna do is take this corner here, finger, everything is right there. You can tune that up nice and clean. And then you can see there's a little bit of a mess over there. You want to get in there and clean that up. You don't want to leave the silicone on there for too long without getting in there and tooling it off, because it will tack up. And once it tacks up, it kind of pulls. And once it's really hard to deal with after that. So the idea is to get it in the joint, tool it off within a few minutes. Some people are gonna ask why I didn't shim up the tile off the countertop. That's a really good point, because we do want expansion, right? But here's the thing. What I noticed, these are new countertops, and what I can guarantee is gonna happen is things are going to settle. Every time, every job, things are gonna settle after you get new countertops in there. So I didn't leave expansion because we have built-in expansion. The silicone is going to stretch with it and it will not crack. That's why we use silicone. If you have any questions or you want to see anything like this, check out Global Tile Posse, forum and Facebook. It's a really great place to go. You can check out setsometile.com, which is going to be live here in about a month. That's going to be a really cool resource for tile stuff, industry stuff. And my Instagram account, which is at Stoneman1273. If you have any interest in taking the certified tile installer test, reach out to me. I'm also an evaluator for the Ceramic Tile Education Foundation. We put on tests all over the country. It is a super rad thing to do for you and your career, or anybody on your crew. In order to work for Stoneman, if you're a 5-year guy, you need to be certified. That's the way it works, because I believe in the industry standards and I believe in the tests. So check us out, Global Tile Posse, Stoneman 1273 on Instagram, setsometile.com. What's up?